The first thing for you to identify in order to control your emotions is to identify the triggers. If you can understand why people do what they do, that means you're an emotional, intelligent person. Living in the moment. Forget about the future, forget about the past, and live in the moment. One of the things that cause unhappiness is because we try to focus on things we can't control. People's words are just opinions, they are not facts. No one can make you inferior without your consent. If someone says something bad against you, oh, that's okay. Now you only get angry when you react negatively to what the person said. So try asking yourself, what is the other person thinking? Why is the other person doing what he or she is doing at that moment? It's better for you to keep a relationship and lose an argument than to win an argument and lose a relationship. Hello everyone, welcome to the NKP's podcast. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how to control your emotions and how to stop taking things personally. Controlling your emotions is a skill that is developed. So you need to learn how to control your emotions and how to react to situations. So there are basically 7 keys for you to have so as to be able to open the door of your emotions and that of others. So the first key you must consider, the first key you try to have is to identify your triggers. That is, you must identify what makes you angry sometimes. What are those things that people say that makes you upset? What are those things when you see makes you upset sometimes? These are your triggers. You must identify them. Identifying your triggers helps you to know how to handle situation when they arises. Imagine your emotions are like a puzzle, and those the triggers are like the puzzle pieces. Same as your emotions. The first thing for you to identify in order to control your emotions is to identify the triggers. Identify those things that makes you angry. Identify those things when people say or do get you upset. That's the first thing for you to do. Sometimes people answer you willfully, you feel offended. If you understand that is a trigger for your emotions, you know how to handle it when they arises. The first thing for you to do is to identify those triggers to your emotions. The second key to control your emotions and stop taking things personally is to build emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? It's the ability for you to manage your emotions and that of others. If you're able to manage your emotions and that of others, that means you're an emotionally intelligent person. Managing your emotions simply means fighting the negative thoughts that your mind sometimes produces. All these things are part of the process for you to manage your emotions and stop taking things personally. To build emotional intelligence, you must engage in things like self-reflections, practice empathy. There are times you need to put yourself in other people's shoes to understand why they behave the way they did. If you can understand why people do what they do, that means you're an emotional intelligent person. It's very difficult for you to understand why people do what they do, but it's a skill for you to practice. Managing your emotions will help you to stop taking things personally. So the third key for you to stop taking things personally and to manage your emotions is practice mindfulness. Mindfulness simply means living in the moment. Forget about the future, forget about the past, and live in the moment. Live as if it's your last day on earth. Forget about what people say yesterday. Yes, they said that yesterday. Yeah, it's okay. What are they saying now? Someone said something against you yesterday. Okay, he said that, she said that. That's okay. What are they saying now? Live in the moment. Things you have no control over, you have to forget about them. Because one of the things that cause unhappiness is because we try to focus on things we can't control. Remember this, people's words are just opinions. They are not facts. What someone says about you are just opinions. They are not facts. The fourth key is for you to understand how to react to every stimulus. Now, between the stimulus and the response lies your freedom to choose. Between what somebody says to you and how you react to what the person says lies your freedom to choose. So you have the power to choose how you react to every stimulus. Most of the time we get angry based on how we react to those stimulus. Anger comes as a result of how we react to every stimulus. Now remember this and understand this. No one can make you inferior without your consent. If someone says something bad against you, oh, that's okay. Now you only get angry when you react negatively to what the person said. So for you to manage your emotions and stop taking things personally, you must be able to know how to react to every stimulus. The sixth key is a very powerful key you can use to navigate life with grace and maturity. Now, the sixth key talks about it's not always about you. Most of the times we take things personally because we feel like it's always about us. Come to your question like, why is this person doing that? Is the person actually doing that to offend you? Most of the time we take things personally as if it's always about us. Now when we do this, we feel angry. So one day my friend called me and my SIM card was not in my phone where I stored his number. So he called me and said hello. I asked, who is this? He got angry and off the call. He expected me to know he is the one calling. I don't blame him. I blame his emotions. He never had that ability to manage his emotions at the moment. All what he was thinking at that moment was about his self. At that moment, he got angry because he took things personally. He never tried to understand why did he say, who is that? Maybe one way or the other, but he never tried to ask. So at that moment, he got upset. His emotion got the best of him because he took things personally. For you to manage your emotions and that of others and stop taking things personally, you must understand that it's not always about you. You may be talking to someone and the person is manipulating his or her phone and you got upset. Have you asked yourself, what is the person doing his or her phone at the moment? Maybe the person is taking down note, but you always think it's about you. You feel bad and saying, oh, why am I talking to you right now and you're manipulating your phone? That's a sign of disrespect. Try asking yourself, what is the other person thinking? Why is the other person doing what he or she is doing at that moment? Seventh key for you to use to manage your emotions and to stop taking things personally is to avoid unnecessary arguments. There are a lot of arguments where the end result will always be terrible. So to avoid terrible endings, avoid unnecessary arguments. It's better for you to keep a relationship and lose an argument than to win an argument and lose a relationship. Most arguments at the end has negative impacts on the both individuals. So for you to keep your relationship, avoid arguing unnecessarily. In an argument, everybody wants to win. If person A wants to win, person B wants to win. None of them is willing to give up. So for you to save your relationship, save your emotions, and avoid taking things personally, quit unnecessary arguments. Things that makes no sense. Avoid arguing. When we say avoid arguments, it doesn't mean you can't speak up. It's very important to speak up, but avoid arguments where you see the end result will always be negative no matter what.